show agents. You're going to be finding out what their wants and needs are. This is very important. You got to help them understand the difference between a want and a need, right? One of the things that we always like to talk about when we sit down with a buyer for the first time and they say, well, I want this and this and this, and they give you this litany list of stuff. So we get into the computer right there and then in front of them and we pull the stuff up and then we find out that, oh my gosh, they've got a champagne taste on a beer budget. Well, what do we do with that? Well, we've got to be very, very clear with them about what expectations we should have going forward. So for example, if I want all of this stuff and only one house comes up in my initial search, well, that's a problem. So what I want to do is I want to show them, hey, our parameters are probably a little bit broad right now. You said you needed a 4-bedroom. Let me ask you this. Would a 3-bedroom with a den be okay? Would that be enough? As long as it had a room, even if that room didn't have a closet? Because a lot of times that would be okay with them. And guess what? That will open up more properties. Price point is obvious. Go through each of their parameters one step at a time to make sure that when you do that initial search that you have at least 250 to 400 properties available during that first search that they can look through. Why is that? And let them know this too. Why is that? Because with computers, it's exact, right? So it's not going to extrapolate, oh, we think that they might be interested in this one, even though that it doesn't exactly match their parameters. Their parameters are their parameters, and that's going to dictate what they get to see on a weekly basis. And if we come up with 200-300 properties on our first initial search on a daily, weekly basis, that means we're only going to be seeing maybe 1 or 2 or 3 properties. So it's not like we're going to be inundating them. But what we do want to do is when we're sending them the results of the search, when we're sending them listings on a daily basis, we want to make sure there's something to send so that we're engaging with them. And it's really easy for them to just hit delete on a listing rather than try and conjure up a listing that didn't come up on their search. Also, make sure you understand what he wants and what she wants. Now, we all get it. She's the decision maker. Yes, we all understand that. But you want to make sure that you understand what both of them want so that you can, as best possible, meet both of their needs. All right. So when you do this, you're going to be consulting with the buyers on which home is right for them. As you go out and show homes, remember that you have to ask them every single time you show a house. You need to ask them some kind of a closing question. Now, one of my personal favorites is, at what price would this be a great deal for you? I'll give it to you again. Write this down. At what price would this be a great deal for you? Here's why I asked that question. Every home is a great deal at some price, right? Or I should say almost every home. There's some, I guess, that you could give me for free that I might not want. But the vast majority of homes out there have a price at which they would be a great deal for a buyer. So I want to ask them this to give me the best chance possible of getting them on paper. What do I do if they say, well, it's a $400,000 listing, but I only want to offer $200,000 on it? Fantastic, great. Let's write it up for $200,000. At least get them on paper, right? We need to get them moving forward with us. So it's your responsibility as the buyer agent to do that. It's your responsibility as the buyer agent to get them on paper. All right. Obviously, you're going to be doing a lot of research in the area. You're going to be scheduling these appointments unless you have somebody in the office scheduling them for you. But at the end of the day, I'm going to recommend don't abdicate the responsibility to do any of this to anyone else unless your team leader suggests otherwise. Make sure that even if you have other people on the team that are setting appointments for you, even if you have other people on the team that are doing some of this process for you, take full and complete responsibility of your career and you go be aggressive with the process. You go set appointments for you. You go generate leads for you. You go follow up with those leads. You convert those leads into appointments and then into transactions. And guess what? You're going to make a lot more money because of it. Once you do that, however, once you've written that transaction up, embrace the team, right? Embrace the support that you've received from the team. If there's transaction coordination in place, for example, on the team, embrace that. Trust your transaction coordinators. If your transaction coordinators aren't doing things the way you want them to do it, make sure that you convey that to the team leader. Make sure you work with those transaction coordinators to improve that behavior so that, again, you, the client, and the team as a whole are all getting what's in the client's best interest and the team's best interest, and which will, by the way, be in your best interest.